My parents sold my apartment to pay for my sister's wedding. They forged my signature, took $180,000 in equity I'd spent 8 years building, and when I found out, they were laughing on the phone thanking me for being so generous. I'm Leah Hartley. I'm 32 years old. And 3 weeks before my sister's wedding, I discovered my entire family had been using me like an ATM for years. The call came on a Tuesday afternoon. I was at work when my mom's name flashed on my phone. "Honey, we just wanted to thank you for the wedding present," she said. My dad was chuckling in the background. "What present?" "Your apartment, sweetheart. We sold it. Got a great price too. The buyer paid cash." My throat closed up. "You what?" "We knew you'd understand. You've always been so generous. And Sophia's wedding is going to be beautiful now." I didn't agree to this. There was a pause. Then my dad's voice, patronizing and firm. "Leah, don't be dramatic. It's just an apartment. It's my apartment. We're family," my mother said in that patient tone. "What's yours is ours. That's how family works. Besides, you'll find another place. You're so capable." Capable. The word they used when they meant I didn't matter enough to care about. "How did you even? I didn't sign anything." Silence. Then my father cleared his throat. "We handled the paperwork. You gave us your documents years ago, remember? They forged my signature. They committed fraud. And they expected me to accept it." I hung up. They were still laughing when the line went dead. I called my best friend Sarah. She's a real estate attorney. "They did what?" 47 minutes later, she called back. "The transaction isn't finalized. The closing hasn't happened yet. The title company flagged inconsistencies with the signature." Relief hit me hard. "So it's not legal?" "It's fraud, Leah. You could press charges." "There's something else," Sarah said. "Your mom told someone at the grocery store that Sophia's been paying their mortgage for years. She was bragging about it." My blood went cold. "That's not possible. I've been paying that mortgage for 4 years." A long pause. "Then Sophia's been lying to them. Taking credit for your money." The room spun. My sister had actively claimed my sacrifice as her own. For 4 years. Let me back up. You need to understand what growing up in my family was like. Sophia was the baby. For years younger, charming, always the center of attention. My parents had completely different expectations for each of us. For Sophia, the world was supposed to be soft. For me, it was supposed to build character. When we were kids, both of us wanted piano lessons. My mother signed Sophia up for private lessons. $40 a week. "What about me?" I asked. "Leah, you're old enough to teach yourself. There are tutorials on YouTube." I taught myself chopsticks on Sophia's old keyboard. Nobody noticed. When I wanted to join the school choir, we couldn't afford the uniform. 2 months later, Sophia got a $200 dance costume. When I complained once, my father sat me down. "Leah, don't be selfish. Your sister is more sensitive. She needs more support. You've always been the strong one." So I learned to be strong. I learned to stop asking. I learned that speaking up made me the difficult one. When I graduated college, summa cum laude, first in my family to finish university, my parents weren't there. They forgot to book flights. They were helping Sophia move. "We'll celebrate when you're home," my mother said, distracted. Sophia really needed us this weekend. I walked across that stage alone. 8 years later, I bought my own apartment. No help. Just years of 60-hour weeks and a savings account I never touched. The day I got the keys, I called my parents. My father's response, "That's nice, honey. Hey, does it have a spare room? Sophia might need a place to stay." Not congratulations. Just could Sophia use it? 3 years before the wedding, my parents made a terrible financial mistake. My father invested everything in a real estate development. The project collapsed. They were left with a mortgage they couldn't pay and a foreclosure notice. I found out by accident. A letter from the bank arrived at my apartment. I called the bank that afternoon and set up automatic payments. $2,100. Every month. I didn't tell anyone. I just handled it, like I always did. What I didn't know was that Sophia had discovered my secret. She borrowed my laptop and must have seen the email confirmation from the bank. And instead of telling our parents the truth, Sophia told them SHE was paying the mortgage. I've been helping out from my PR salary, she apparently told them. My parents were moved to tears. They told everyone at church. They bragged to the neighbors. Meanwhile, I kept sending $2,100 every month, never knowing someone else was taking the credit. Then Sophia got engaged, and everything changed. Grant Rhodes was everything my parents had dreamed of. Handsome, well-spoken, and rich. His father owned the largest law firm in the county. The Rhodes had houses in Martha's Vineyard in Aspen. This wedding will change everything for this family, my father said, eyes bright with desperation. Sophia's future is our future. They started planning immediately. A Rhodes-worthy wedding. The country club. 200 guests. 12-piece orchestra. Flowers from Holland. The price tag, $100,000. Money they didn't have. Sophia can't afford both the mortgage and the wedding, I overheard my mother saying. She's already sacrificing so much for us. I remember feeling confused. Sophia made $3,000 a month. How was she supposedly paying a $2,100 mortgage? But I dismissed it. Maybe she'd gotten a raise. I had no idea my sister was living a lie, and that my parents were about to make me pay for it. My apartment wasn't just a place to live. It was proof that I existed. 8 years of my life had gone into those walls. Every promotion, every skipped vacation, every no I'd said to dinners and trips, it all lived in that space. If I stayed silent, I wouldn't just lose the apartment. I'd lose 8 years of work. $180,000 in equity. The only proof that Leah Hartley was more than a supporting character. And Sophia would keep taking credit for my sacrifice. Something shifted in me that night. They'd spent 32 years training me to accept, to adapt, to make room. But this wasn't about being the bigger person anymore. This was about being a person at all. For the first time in my life, I was going to fight back. And I was going to expose everything. Sarah spread the documents across her table. 4 years of bank statements. 48 payments. Every single one from your account. Over $100,000. Almost exactly what they were spending on Sophia's wedding. There's no way Sophia could have made these payments. Entry-level PR coordinators make about $3,000 a month before taxes. She knew the exact amount, I said quietly. She saw my email years ago. Sarah nodded. She found your evidence and used it to build her own lie. When you show these at the wedding, you're exposing Sophia in front of her new husband. In front of his family. I thought about the Rhodes family name built on integrity. They deserve to know who they're really getting, I said. That evening, I drove to my parents' house. My mother opened the door with a smile. Why didn't you ask me? My voice was calm. Ask you what, honey? About my apartment. About selling something that belongs to me. My father waved his hand. We've been over this. It's done. The wedding is in 3 weeks. I sat down. By the way, how has Sophia been managing to pay your mortgage on her salary? My mother's face lit up. She's been wonderful. $2,100 every month. Such a selfless girl. Interesting. And she told you this herself? Oh, are we talking about me? Sophia appeared in the doorway. She looked at me and something flickered across her face. Then she smiled. Yes. I've been helping out. It's what family does. She looked right at me when she said it. She knew I knew. And she didn't care. It's my wedding, Leah. For once, can something be about me? I stood up and walked out. But I wasn't done. Sarah sent me something that made my stomach drop. I got added to your family group chat years ago. They forgot to remove me. She forwarded a screenshot. The message was from Sophia, dated 3 weeks earlier. Don't worry about Leah's apartment. She won't make a fuss. She never does. She won't make a fuss. She never does. My own sister had reassured them. She'd counted on my silence. I printed the screenshot and added it to my folder. You have 3 options, Sarah said. 1. Police now. 2. Wait until after the wedding, but by then, Sophia will be married into the Rhodes family. They'll protect her. You'll be the bitter sister. Or 3. Confront them at the wedding. Publicly. Before the marriage is finalized. If I do this after the wedding, they'll spin it, I said. They'll make me the villain. And Sophia will be safely married. That evening, I called Mr. Coleman, the buyer. I explained the situation, the forged signature, the fraud. He was silent. I'll call my lawyer. 2 days later, he withdrew from the sale. The transaction was void. My parents didn't know yet. They were still planning with money that wasn't coming. The morning of the wedding, I woke up in my apartment. My apartment. Still mine. My phone buzzed. Sarah, everything is ready. Good luck. On my bed lay the bridesmaid dress, a shade of pink that washed out my complexion. Deliberately unflattering. Beside it sat the folder. Inside, 48 months of bank statements, the original deed, the canceled sale contract, emails from my parents, and the screenshot of Sophia. I looked in the mirror. The pink dress looked terrible. But that wasn't what mattered today. I grabbed the folder and my keys. They expected me to smile and play my part. They had no idea I'd rewritten the script. The Eastridge Country Club was transformed. White roses everywhere. 12-piece orchestra. Crystal chandeliers scattering rainbows. 200 guests. 200 witnesses. I stood near the back, watching my parents work the room. Both our daughters are so selfless, my mother told Mrs. Rhodes. Sophia has been supporting us financially for years. My hand tightened around my purse. Across the room, Sophia caught my eye. Radiant in white silk. She smiled and waved. No guilt. Just serene confidence. The ceremony was beautiful. Sophia cried at all the right moments. And I waited. The reception began at 6. I sat at the family table, the folder in my lap. Then my father stood up, champagne glass in hand. The room fell silent. Family. That's what today is about. Sacrifice. I want to thank Sophia, who has been supporting this family financially for years. And Leah, who gave the most generous wedding gift, her apartment, so her sister could have the wedding of her dreams. Applause. 200 eyes turned toward me. Sophia stood and gave a bow, accepting applause for sacrifices she'd never made. Let's raise a glass to our daughters. Glasses rose. People drank. And I stood up. Dad. My voice was steady. Would you mind if I said a few words? My father's smile wavered. But 200 people were watching. Of course, sweetheart. He handed me the microphone. I took it. Thank you, Dad. I do have something to say about those sacrifices you mentioned. Silence. Absolute silence. At the family table, Sophia's smile faltered. She knew. Since we're sharing, I think everyone deserves to know the whole story. My mother's expression shifted from pride to panic. Grant Rhodes watched with curious eyes. His father set down his glass and studied me. I opened my purse and pulled out the folder. I have documentation proving everything I'm about to say. So please, let me finish. My father just thanked me for giving up my apartment. I want to clarify something. I didn't give it. I didn't sell it. I didn't even know about it until 3 weeks ago. Gasps rippled through the crowd. My parents sold my apartment without my knowledge. They forged my signature. Leah, what are you? My father's voice was sharp. I'm not done, Dad. My mother gripped the table. Mr. Rhodes Sr.'s expression hardened. I have the original deed here. I held it up. My name. Leah Hartley. Sole owner. I bought this with 8 years of savings. I never authorized any sale. Whispers spread. Grant stared at his new in-laws. The good news is the sale was never legal. I pulled another document. I contacted the buyer last week. He withdrew immediately. I held up the termination letter. The deposit has been returned. The transaction is canceled. That's, my mother's voice cracked. The money you were counting on? It's not coming. Sophia grabbed Grant's arm. Wait, what does this? It means the apartment is still mine. I turned to my sister. It was always mine. And you knew that. Grant pulled his arm away slightly. Mr. Rhodes Sr. stood and walked toward me. May I see those documents? I handed him the folder. His eyes scanned the pages. Leah, please. My mother whispered. Not here. This is exactly where it needs to happen. Because there's more. The silence was absolute. My father thanked Sophia for supporting the family, for paying their mortgage for years. I looked at my sister. Isn't that right, Sophia? Terror in her eyes. Here's the truth. For the past 4 years, I've been paying our parents' mortgage. Every month. $2,100. My father staggered. What? Every payment. From my account. With my name. For 4 years. The documents passed from hand to hand. Leah Hartley on every page. You saw my email confirmation years ago, Sophia. You knew it was me. And you told them it was you. I can explain. You took credit for $100,000 of my sacrifice. Every time Mom praised you, every time Dad thanked you, that was my money. And you stole it. Grant stood slowly. Sophia, you lied about all of it. She reached for him. Grant, please. He stepped back. Mr. Rhodes Sr. looked up. His eyes found my parents, then Sophia, then me. I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want you to feel ashamed. But Sophia took credit for my sacrifice for 4 years. I lowered my voice. I'm not doing this to hurt anyone. I'm doing this because the truth matters. And I'm tired of being the one who stays silent. As of today, I'm no longer paying your mortgage. My father's face crumpled. Leah, you can't. We'll lose the house. You tried to take my house. And Sophia took credit for keeping yours. I looked at my sister, mascara streaking down her face. I felt nothing. Just empty clarity. Maybe now you can actually start paying it, Sophia. Since everyone already thinks you do. Then I turned to my parents. What I felt wasn't rage. It was sadness. I loved you enough to save your home in secret. 4 years. Over $100,000. I never asked for thanks. I never even told you. My voice cracked slightly. Neither of you loved me enough to ask before taking mine. I set down the microphone. Picked up my purse. From across the room, Sarah's voice, that's my girl. I walked out. The silence lasted 4 seconds. Then the room erupted. Grant's voice cut through. Did you lie to me too? I didn't, it's not. 4 years. You lied about money for 4 years. Mr. Rhodes Sr. approached my father. You told us your family was honest, David. It's a misunderstanding. There's nothing to misunderstand, Mrs. Rhodes said coldly. She lied for 4 years. That's a pattern. Sophia grabbed my arm in the hallway. You ruined my wedding. I stopped. No, Sophia. You ruined it yourself, the day you decided to lie. Behind us, Grant was walking toward the exit. Not following Sophia. Going the other direction. How could you do this to me? Sophia was crying. On my wedding day? You knew what you were doing. Every single day for 4 years. Every time Mom praised you, every time Dad thanked you, you smiled and said you're welcome. That wasn't a mistake, Sophia. That was a choice. For 4 years, you had a chance to tell the truth. You didn't. My mother appeared, breathless. Leah, please. We should have talked 4 years ago. Or 3 weeks ago when you decided to sell my home without asking. Now it's too late. I walked out. Sarah was waiting by her car. How do you feel? Like I just told the truth for the first time in my life. We ended up at a cafe. Sarah ordered us both coffee. You could press charges. Forgery is a felony. I know. I wrapped my hands around my mug. No. I don't want them in prison. I just wanted them to face what they did. And Sophia? That's between her and Grant now. My phone buzzed repeatedly. 23 missed calls from Mom. 15 from Dad. 8 from Sophia. I turned it to silent and set it down. I'm done being the one who always picks up when they call. Sarah raised her cup. To new beginnings. To new beginnings. 3 days later, the fallout was still spreading. Grant had moved out that night. The Rodas lawyers were drawing up annulment papers. Marriage based on misrepresentation. Sophia's PR company put her on indefinite leave. A PR professional who'd lied about money for 4 years wasn't a good look. My grandmother texted, "I'm proud of you, Leah. Your grandfather would have been proud too." I sat in my apartment, and watched the city lights. For the first time in a long time, the quiet felt like peace. 2 weeks later, my father called. Leah. His voice sounded older. We got a letter from the bank. 90 days. I said nothing. Have you asked Sophia? She's been telling you she pays it for years. Long silence. She can't. She never could. We know that now. I know, Dad. I've always known. Why didn't you tell us it was you? Would it have mattered? Would you have treated me differently? Or would Sophia still have been your favorite? He had no answer. I'm not paying anymore, Dad. You need to figure this out. But I'm not part of that family anymore. Not the way I was. I hung up. 2 months later, the house sold. $285,000. Sold in 11 days. They walked away with almost nothing. Moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, the same complex where Sophia was living. The annulment was finalized. Grant was already dating someone else. And for the first time, Sophia was actually contributing. No more pretending. Just a $3,000 salary and real bills. Then one evening, a letter arrived. My mother's handwriting. Dear Leah, I'm sorry for everything. For not seeing you. For always putting Sophia first. You deserved a mother who noticed. We failed you. I don't expect you to forgive us, but I wanted you to know, I see it now. I see what we did. Your father is too proud to write this, but I'm not. You deserved better. Mom. I read it twice. Set it on my counter. It's a start. But words are cheap. Actions take time. 6 months after the wedding, I sat in my apartment watching the sunset. The same apartment. Still mine. But everything felt different. I'd repainted. Bought new curtains. Replaced the couch. The space felt lighter. Sarah came over for dinner every Thursday. We'd cook, drink wine, talk about everything except my family. You look different, she said one evening. Lighter. I stopped carrying people who would never carry me. Work was better too. The promotion finally came through. $800 a month that used to disappear into my parents' mortgage stayed in my account. I'd started a travel fund. Booked a trip to Portugal for spring. 32 years of saving everything for everyone else. Now I was learning to spend something on myself. My phone buzzed. Sophia, I'm sorry for everything. Can we talk? I stared at it. A year ago, I would have answered immediately. Would have smoothed things over. But I wasn't that person anymore. I set the phone down. Took another sip of wine. Watched the sunset fade. Maybe someday. But not today. You might be wondering if I'll ever forgive them. I don't know yet. What I do know is that forgiveness isn't the same as letting people walk over you. It's not about pretending something didn't happen or making yourself small so everyone else can feel comfortable. Being the quiet one, the peacekeeper, that's not a virtue if it comes at the cost of your self-respect. I used to think my silence made me the bigger person. Turns out it just made me invisible. I spent 32 years being easy. Easy to ignore. Easy to take from. Easy to overlook. Easy to lie to. I'm done being easy. My phone buzzed again. Sophia's text still glowing. I picked it up. Read it one more time. Then I typed, actions, not words. Show me you've changed. Then we'll talk. I hit send. Maybe she would. Maybe she wouldn't. Maybe my parents would find their way back with more than just letters. Maybe they wouldn't. But that wasn't the point anymore. The point was that I'd finally stopped waiting for them to see me. I'd stopped needing their approval to know my own worth. Family isn't about blood. It's about respect. And respect goes both ways or it goes nowhere. I looked around my apartment. My apartment. Still mine. Always mine. And smiled. For the first time in my life, I didn't need anyone's permission to be enough. I already was. Thanks for listening, and if this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to comment and subscribe for more stories about finding your voice when the world expects you to stay silent. Being the bigger person doesn't mean making yourself smaller, it means standing tall in your truth.